In this video, we are going to talk about how these planets, the placements of these planets in your chart, what do they have to do with your success? Like, there is only four, as we all know, the common statistics of the successful people on this planet. Like, because we define success with money. And let's just talk about, first we acknowledge, okay, a lot of people think success is money. So let's talk about that. Then we will transition to, what else success can mean. But if you believe that your great success is great money, then why do only small percentage of people on this planet are, really, really rich? First of all, they know something that not everybody else does. And I've heard it a few times from my gurus in the past that millionaires do not acknowledge astrologers or astrology, but billionaires do. So there you go. There is something that you don't know or you don't pay attention to that they do. We sometimes feel that if you're talking about money only, and if you're talking about that dimension only, we sometimes feel like, okay, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 job that we cracked is a lot of money. But we're not thinking that some people out there are making billions. What do they know that we don't? And how are they getting and understanding people so well compared to we ever do? Or we are ever able to connect to the depths of what people want. Like, we may not like what Elon Musk is doing, or we may not like what there's other rich guys are doing because we think that they're polluting the planet, but we consume their products every single day. So come on, are we not equally accountable to that? He knows something that we don't acknowledge, the fact that whether we like them or hate them, they're the necessary devil, and we're going to use them every single day. We're going to use an iPhone every single day, whether we believe that the batteries are killing the planet, or whether we believe the technology is not okay. We still download a lot of apps. We still use the internet, even though we know that it's the source of a lot of mental health issues. So what do they know that we don't know? We are busy fighting the things instead of using what's in our chart. Out of the question whether they know their chart or not, how do you know they don't, and how do you know they do? We don't know that, right? We don't know them in personal life. However, we do know that they're using their strengths to the fullest. And that is what we're going to talk about in your chart. And I'm going to talk about with an example, let's just say Mars, and it's one of my favorite planets. I don't have favorites in the planet, but Mars I get very intrigued by Mars. It's a simplistic planet to understand, that's why. Simplicity is the strength of a planet. If you understand the planet by its simple value, the faster you become successful in life. Mars rules the first house of astrology in Aries, and it's your body, your head, your personality. Wherever the Mars will sit in your chart, it rules the first house, it rules the 8th house. Yep, it has given the lordship of your personality, your birth, your body, your mind, and it has given the lordship of everything that is dark, deep, occult, transformative, and hidden and secret knowledge. Why would Mars given that, place the rulership of Scorpio? Why not any, okay, you think Moon might be a cult or Ketu might be a cult. Yeah, Ketu feels the most comfortable in 8th house because Ketu can perform the best in 8th house, but the Lord is Mars. Why? Mars is war. Mars is worship, soldiers, weaponry, then why is Mars given that space? Because your destiny is pre-decided. What you do between one house to house number 8 is your actions, are your plain balanced actions that you're going to take before you die. And after 8th house to 12th house are your higher karma. So your destiny is pre-decided. I was just talking about this to my mother this morning, that in the Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata, when the Kauravas and the Pandavas fought, the gods took the side of the Pandavas, they made sure that the Pandavas won because it was necessary for the kingdom to not go in the hands of the evil. However, they all died. Arjuna questioned the battle. He represents Jupiter, the lord of the battlefield. They questioned their dharma, but they perform it anyways. And Lord Hanuman represents Ketu, who also leads the flag, which means a representation of something. And then Lord Krishna, who is Moon, he is a chariot holder, so he's not participating, he is observing, because they have already pre-decided the destiny. But who goes to the heaven and hell? The Pandavas go to hell. Everyone was like, how? What? If they were the good guys, why did they go to hell? Because they took the bait of the devil. The devil, or the Kauravas, we will say that, they baited them to pawn their wife. And they did. And the day they took the bet, the day they took the bait, that literally tells us that that day their fate was sealed. And that is house number 8. What happens between them in the performance of karma is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the battle. And then the higher battlegrounds of 9 and 10, that's even a higher karma when you start questioning your life. Number 9, house number 9 is when you question. That's when Arjuna stood up, like, we have come this far. I'm now afraid. And then he was told to fight. That's when in house number 10, Mars gets the maximum strength in house number 10, because the fighter in Arjuna rises and finishes off the battlefield. And house number 12 is the final destination, the moksha. See, this is what I mean. So how do you decide your big success in life? I deviated from the topic a little, but I wanted to. It literally means that what is it that's missing in your charts? Like, what is it that's missing in your chart? What is the lack of strength? In my chart, my sun has the lowest strength. That means my self-esteem, or I would always dive in deeper, always go for soul searching to rise my self-esteem. I can't talk myself into rising my self-esteem. Like, I'm going to do this. Yes. And out I go. I can't do this. I have to deep dive. But I have to understand that at some point, I have to stop deep diving in a psychological research manner, because then the sun says, I am already strong. And it is a moment of realization. And it is a moment of realization that you already are. It is your terms of acceptance, whether you believe in it or not. And how do you believe in it? It's through a lot of chanting and mantras. So look at the stars and the planets that are weak in your chart, that have the lower strength in your chart, that have the lower ability in your chart. And that is where your strongest karma lies. And if you fulfill that karma, no one can catch up with you. No one can catch up with your material success that you're after, or the money that you're after. Anything. If, let's just say, you have a weaker planet in the 7th house, or Rahu conjoin with Venus, that makes Venus a bit weak in love life, but it makes Venus really weak in acquiring wealth. But now we're just talking about how to strengthen them, right? So literally it means strengthen your Venus in terms of pure love, because Rahu is stuck in the head now. It doesn't understand pure love anymore. Venus is all about sex and lust, and Venus becomes in the opposite end of the journey and becomes all lust and sex and all desires. But the moment you train your Rahu, you train your mind, and you allow that to go deeper into your body and strengthen the perspective of Venus, and understand that Venus was inside Lord Shiva doing the penance for 10,000 long years to understand the deep, deep occult, deep love. And if you understand that spectrum, Venus has a broad spectrum of wherever you want to move your, mouse or cursor, whatever you say, you can understand Venus is bright, 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 and it gets darker, and it gets darker, and it gets burned. So where do you want to adjust to the green area of Venus, where everything is the purest of the love? that you feel when you're inside Lord Shiva. And that becomes your life journey. So if somebody has a weaker planet in house number 7, their idea is to find beautiful love, is to really understand the depth of love. If somebody have Ketu conjunct with Venus, that means that they really, really, really need to love themselves first. Truly understand the meaning, or truly embrace and embody self-love. And then they will be all right in life. If somebody has a weaker sun, they will find a lot of difficulties towards success. Unless they know that whatever they are chasing, the light outside that they are chasing is inside them. And when you embrace that light, and that is but these people can become excellent researchers. See, I researched the hell out of astrology in 1 year that people take sometimes 10 years to research, and that's just my sun sitting in a weaker area. Does that mean that my weak sun really punished me? No, it made me a crazy researcher, and that gives me the edge. And once I understand the ability of what I can do, the sun will lift up the soul, right? Because sun is your soul. So if you have a weaker chart, everyone does have a weak chart in one way or another, you're meant to use your strength of your stronger planet and embrace the true essence of the weaker planets. It may take a bit of long time for you to even understand, or even pay attention to that, where is your weakness. And sometimes we may go extra mile to do that. We may I'm going to go to this therapy, that this. Calm down, take a step back, and truly elevate that weak planet. We can talk about many weak planets. If it's Mercury that's weak, you may want to be one of those people who score really low in your SATs in school and college, or you may struggle to acquire that degree. But let me tell you one thing, a weaker Mercury, I've seen Einstein has one of the most weakest Mercury debilitated in the sign of Pisces. That's where Mercury finds the lowest strength. Einstein had the lowest strength Mercury. That's the example that I was looking for in my headspace when I record this video and I allow the thoughts to come in. Einstein, weakest Mercury. Why do you think he broke the record of success? Do you call that success? Of course, materialistic or whatever it is. We're still using his legacy until now. Is equal to MC squared. The whole world is using it. And it's insane. How did he do that with that kind of Mercury where the intelligence weakens? How did he catapult his intelligence? When you know how? He allowed the creativity to flow. He used to say that he doesn't sit there and reason the mathematics that comes to him. He doesn't sit there and analyze the mathematics that comes to him. And instead, he visualizes the universe as a flow and a creative spectrum, and he allows those things to come to him. That's where Mercury becomes strong in the creative spectrum. The Mercury can show you answers of the universe the way an exalted Mercury can't, because exalted Mercury can make you a PhD. Well, that's just studying what other people has already studied and proven, and you're working hard all your life to prove something without reaching to a conclusion. That I've seen so many clients who are PhD and they're unsatisfied because they're going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. However, they're not reaching the point of conclusion. That's exalted Mercury. So does that mean a strong planet is giving you amazing results? I don't think so. For a person to be extremely successful, they need weak planets and debilitated planets. And that is where your materialistic success or your success in love life or acquiring a beautiful, beautiful husband or wife lies, because that's when you are going so deep into not just introspection, but embracing the true love inside you. That is inside you, it's not outside you. And everything comes together and makes sense when you embrace the weakness of your weak planets, use the strong planets to its maximum strength, and allow the weak planets to do its thing. They come with their own soul. Allow them to use their own soul. I have a debilitated Mercury, like Einstein did, but I'm not like him. But I have other strengths. I can do I can allow so much deep occult to come to me, like the epiphany moments with astrology that I was once reading. When I was following Dr. Pies or Kendra and everything. Sometimes I feel like, okay, sometimes I feel like, how did I think of this? And then I might be giving the credit to my past life because I may have that past life karma that I may have learned this in past life. How did I put 2 and 2 together? I don't know. How did I know in my last video that I said like taxi represents Saturn? I don't know. And that really, I think it feels like I'm not thinking that. It's coming, and that's what the debilitated Mercury is doing to me. It's beautiful. The strength of just recording this video, because I have a very, very weak sun, but I'm like, I'm going to do this anyways. And that's when your sun elevates, because a weak sun doesn't like to be seen in front of other people. The weak sun likes to hide, and that's not the true essence of sun. The true essence of sun is like rise and shine, and it's not ashamed of anything. It's not ashamed of anyone. It's whether you like it or not, it's going to come. It's going to do its thing. And that's what I decided to do, and it feels amazing. Naturally, my confidence level is from here to here. And now what I'm doing, I'm just letting my sun be instead of hiding in the darkness, because that's not the true essence of sun. So my weak sun is pushing me to bring the true essence forth. If you're born with a strong sun, you might be natural at it. Unlike me, I'm not. So if you're a natural at it, great. Use that to your full strength and look in the direction of where your weak planets are, and then allow their energy to unfold into your life, and you will see the materialistic gains in your life. You will see the gains in love life. You will see that. At the age of 36, I allowed my Mars to become, because my Mars got activated at the age of 36 in my D9, and I allowed my weak Mars that I was born with to actually gain strength in the age of 36 instead of fighting it that I want this, I want that. And I cracked like my dream job 2 years ago. This is how it works. Allow it to use its strength. And if you want me to check where your weak planet, let's do this. Let's have fun. If you have your chart, if you've ever done your chart, put it below, and I will figure out where your weak planets are. And let's do a bit of exercise, and let's do a bit of fun. Let's have a bit of fun with it. Cool. Subscribe and listen to my videos, and if you have any questions, keep asking. Thank you.